Like to call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Accomando?
Present.
Mr. Buffi?
Present.
Mr. Girick?
Present.
Mr. Nagito? Present. Mr. Quinn? Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Canapico? Present. Mr. Singh?
Present.
Mrs. Zottarelli?
Present. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and to the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. Like a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only.
Motion. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Residents are requested to state their names, address, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5 minutes duration. Issues raised by members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the board are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of the legal rights of those affected or identified in their comments and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. Anyone wishing to be heard on agenda items only? Seeing how there's none, motion to close. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Meeting is now closed for agenda items only. Business Administrators Report.
Thank you, President Zottarelli. This evening I have the minutes from November, checks from November, and financial reports with transfers from the month of October. So I need to ask for a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Oh, roll call, sorry.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mr. Buffi?
Yes.
Mr. Girick?
Yes.
Mr. Nagito?
Going to abstain on check number 50757, and yes to everything else.
Mr. Quinn? Yes. Ms. Sanchez? Yes. Mrs. Canapico?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zottarelli?
Yes.
That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Okay, so,
Mr. Rashika?
welcome everybody. These microphones. Welcome everybody. I want to welcome you here this evening. This is our last board meeting of the year. So we have our brand new auditorium, and I decided that we'll give it a little official opening tonight. And by doing so, what I've done is invited two of our performance groups. The band is going to have a brass ensemble perform for us, and the Carolias from the vocal music program will also be here. So without much more being said, and they're also getting prepared for their big concert tomorrow night. So Mr. Ortega has his brass ensemble that's going to play some music, and then we will move on to the next performance group as well. So at this time, all board members would kindly move to the front seats so we can listen.
This is our brass ensemble. We actually have two brass quintets of different levels, one that's a little older, one that's younger. And it hasn't been since 2009 that we've had a brass ensemble here. And we're only able to do it because our administration gave us back our lesson schedule this year. And that's where we work on our chamber music. So we're really happy to get this back and have these guys here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks again, Brass Ensemble, Mr. Ortega. And in a moment, we will invite the caroliers. I'm sure they're waiting on the side there, who will also be performing tomorrow night under direction of Mr. Kuden. So I know they did a wonderful job with the middle school last Thursday, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's concert as well. So we'll give them a minute to come out here so they can sing for us. Until then. There we go. Thank you for the smooth transition, Mr. Kuden, because we were almost blessed with, well, I shouldn't say blessed, but Mrs. Zattarelli was going to sing Jingle Bells for us, and I wasn't quite ready for that. So.
Okay, so the group you're looking at here, folks, is the Choraliers. This is the select choir here in Saddlebrook. This is a delightful group of young people, and we're going to sing two selections for you, a little bit of a prelims of what you'll hear tomorrow evening. The first one is a Christmas madrigal entitled We Shepherds Sing, and the second one is a more contemporary piece, Here We Come a Caroling.
We shepherds sing, we bark, we play to celebrate this festive day, to celebrate this festive day. La 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 la.
It's an excellent job. Thank you so much. And I want to truly invite everybody out tomorrow night. This is just a little taste of what will be happening. And thank you again, Carol Lears. That was wonderful. The arts are alive and well in Saddlebrook. And I was quite taken back by the blend of the different types of music that you were doing, from serious chorale music on the first piece and this light and lively jazz kind of feel. Sounded great. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is remain in those seats, because while we're sitting in these front row seats, what I'd like to do is, one of the topics on my superintendent's report deals with curriculum. And this is the time of year where we start to look, well, I shouldn't say start, we've been looking for a while, but actually be looking for courses that would be offered at the middle school, high school level. We start to review what's happening at the elementary schools. We see any programs that we think we need to embellish what we have already, make any adjustments to what we have, and so forth. So without any further ado here, what I'd like to do is have Mr. Lawler, our middle school, high school principal, will talk about the work that he's been doing along with our wonderful teachers here in science and technology, and working with a STEAM or STEM program. We're going to call it STEAM, I think, right? We have arts in there, so there it is. Okay, so we got STEM convention, but I believe we're putting the arts, I know we are. And so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lawler, who will present what we're going to be looking forward to, hopefully, in the very near future.
Good evening, members of the Public Board of Education, and thank you, Mr. Ishika. I just have one request for next time. Please put me on first, because that's a tough act to follow. Again, the kids and Mr. Kuda and Mr. Ortega do a fantastic job with the music program. So again, please make sure you come out tomorrow night to see that. It should be a great show. I was invited out tonight to share our plans for a great event coming up next month called the STEM Convention, or STEMCon. And what STEMCon is going to be is an exhibition and a showcase of current and future programs related to science, technology, engineering, and math. It's going to be scheduled for January 11th. That's a Wednesday. It's going to be an all-day event here at the middle high school in the gym. It includes kids from grades 7 to 12, both as participants as well as the facilitators for these various activities. Our real goal, our vision for this event is really to provide students with opportunities to really get excited about learning, to get them engaged in hands-on activities and problem solving, to really push forth a vision for learning that we have here in Saddlebrook High School, to work together collaboratively, and really explore what potential they have in the future and what types of careers are out there for our students. We're also celebrating the launch of our STEM Academy. So this event will really kick off a great new initiative, which we will be sharing more coming in the next few weeks with the curriculum committee. And finally, really to give our students a real inside look of what we have to offer here. A lot of times when they're sitting down with their parents and their counselors looking ahead to the next year, they might not know exactly what we have to offer here. So this event is to really give them an inside look of all the great programs that we currently have here at the middle and high school. We want to get the middle school kids involved. One of our big goals over the past few years is to make sure that our middle school students want to stay here for high school. So I want them to really see how, what kind of exciting opportunities there are. And this is really just going to be about having fun and learning. And that's what I get really excited about. It's like when I walk around the halls and I'm going into classrooms and I'm seeing kids getting their hands dirty and they're solving problems and they're working together and they're having fun. That's what I like to see, and that's what this event is really going to showcase. There's going to be more than 25 students leading these activities from the middle and high school. The activities will be a sample of 10 current and future courses that we offer here in the middle and high school. We're going to have maker spaces. There's going to be a quiz bowl. There's going to be a DJ. So it's going to be a really fun day of learning here. On the next slide, it's a little cut off, but it's a little sampling of some of those activities. And if you look at it, you'll see that there's some themes. It's about creating, whether it's creation in the terms of engineering and design, whether it's about programming and robotics, exposing students to different careers such as the fields of medicine. We have some really great activities, and just to kind of highlight a couple of them, Mr. Kuszalski, who, as you know, kind of records all these meetings for you. He is working with 3D printing and on a different angle with it, 3D printing prosthetics, which will eventually be donated to various organizations that could be actually applied to people that have injuries that require prosthetic limbs. So they're actually creating real-world solutions to real problems. And again, the idea here in Saddlebrook Middleton High School is to expose students to these types of careers and help guide them into their future and what they can do after graduation. Ms. Angarami, who runs the Honors Forensics class, is doing something really neat. She is setting up what the best analogy I could describe is as a batting cage. A 10-foot by 20-foot PVC cage lined with paper where kids are going to go in there with bloody bats, fake blood, and swing those, and then analyze the different blood spatter effects in terms of how crime scene investigators actually look at the evidence to help solve crimes. So these are the types of things our kids are going to do on that day. So it should be a lot of fun. A lot of things with robotics and programming robots to solve different problems. And all this is going to be out on the convention floor where students are going to come down with their science classes and spend some time there. They'll be able to come back during lunch and really try out these things and learn from their peers. That's what the best part about this is. The kids that have these classes or had them last year are going to be the ones that are going to be the teachers, and they're going to be teaching their peers about what we have to offer here. The way we came up with some of these activities and some of these plans for our STEM activities and STEM courses and programs was we surveyed our students. We went right to the customers. What do you want? What do you want to learn about? We put out a survey to all our students from grades 7 through 10, and they gave us a lot of good feedback of what they're interested in. They want to learn about things like drones and robotics. They want to learn programming. They want to build things. They want to break things. That's what we want to provide them opportunities to do. And we use this data that we collected from our students to craft programs for the future. Again, we offer a lot of great things here, but we also realized that we had some holes that we had to fill. And we use this data to fill those holes to make sure the kids are excited about this. As you can see here, it's a truly collaborative effort. The teachers that are involved are excited. They're working with their students to help set up these exhibitions. We have a lot of students from the high school and the middle school that are going to be the actual facilitators on the convention floor. We have community support. And again, I want to take this opportunity to thank the Education Foundation who donated a $2,000 grant for the STEMCon. That money was used to purchase a lot of these new tools that we need for our students, kits for programming and robotics, and all the supplies that the teachers requested to set up for their exhibition. So we really appreciate that support. Really couldn't get it done, especially with an event like this in the middle of the year that wasn't budgeted for last year. So that support was critical to make sure this event is exciting. And also a special thanks to Nicholas Parisi. He's a 10th grade student in our school who works with Mr. K in graphic design. He designed our STEMCon and STEM Academy logo. So again, we really want to see our kids getting involved. We want their talents to shine through in this event. So again, everybody here, please, you're welcome, you're invited. I hope you come down to get in there and start, checking out the different exhibitions, and, there's probably a lot of stuff you'll be interested in doing yourselves, and get in there and start playing with this stuff. So thank you very much for your time and support. Really excited about STEMCon and STEM Academy, and at this time, any questions I can answer before turning it back to Mr. Rashika.
I have a question. When we talk about possibly some courses in the future that would bounce off of what we're going to see here?
Sure. So as I stated, this is an exhibition of what we have and what's to come. So if you see a trend like activities related to the medical field, we have some excellent courses now, honors physiology. We have a AP Bio program. What we're doing is adding new components to that to create what's called a career technical education program for our students who can follow a specific pathway so that at the end they can earn credits in college, and they can also get some real-world experience and find out if this is something they want to do, pursuing into college, or maybe it's something that they're not interested in, they can move on into something else. We're going to be building out a pathway for engineering. So if I'm a freshman, I can take an intro to engineering course for a half a year where I get exposed to the basic principles of engineering and design. If it's something I'm really excited about, we'll have eventually an advanced course. And then from there, what we're going to be doing is finding opportunities for students, whether they want to pursue this in a university while they're still in high school through the Option 2 program, or getting out and partnering with various companies to get actual internship experience. So that's kind of like a little bit of taste of what's to come. Again, we are doing a lot of this already, and this is about kind of really building it out into a coherent vision of STEM education here at the high school.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Sure.
Do we have an actual career day anymore where, you know, we have real jobs come in and speak to students? And if not, would it be possible to tie into this, an engineer or, you know, jobs that pertain to these fields come in on that day as well, so students can also speak to people in the field and kind of get like a real world sense of what the job entails, you know, out of the realm of just experimenting.
Sure. It's an excellent question. Our guidance department runs a college and career fair every spring. Going back to my example I was using about that career biomedical CTE program, we have an advisor, Ms. Salma, who is already making those arrangements. Several weeks ago, she brought in a researcher to speak to the students. She brings in medical students to talk to the kids, and she is going to go out and start to make those connections and identifying those experiences for kids that want to perhaps pursue a field in medicine. And again, what we're really trying to do is be as inclusive as possible with this. We have options for students that really want to pursue it in college and earn credits now, like an AP Bio class. But we also want to use those structured learning experiences for students who want to actually get out and do those real-world experiences as well. So, you know, we want this to be a program for all our students. You know, for students that are looking to go to four-year schools and beyond, for students that want to go right into the workforce, for students with special needs. All of this is geared towards that, and the idea is to really capture their imagination, right? Get them excited about learning, get them to work with their hands. You know, a lot of times we see our kids, they're sitting in rows and they're looking up at a board and they're not interested. When they're solving problems and they're working together, that's when we see the most engagement. So that's what we're really trying to promote here.
Thank you, Mr. Waller.
Very rewarding to sit there and watch what is actually going on in our schools and how it's going to continue. And thank you for that.
You're welcome, and thank you for your support.
Appreciate that. Okay, so I think we can move back to our seats. We'll have everything back in place, and
Very cool, very cool. Disappointed sound.
okay. So moving right along, that was a little bit of a different start for us, but I think it's well needed and well received, showcasing some of the things that are going on in the school. So moving on with that same idea, I would like to have our student representative, Kia Yalong, who is going to give us a report from the student side. And Kia, take it away.
Hi, good evening. The middle school winter concert was held last Thursday. Both the choir and band put on great shows. The high school will be featured tomorrow evening starting at 7:30 with performances by the choir, choraleers, concert, and jazz bands. Mr. Kudin and the choraleers also performed at the Kessler Institute and West End Collegiate Church last weekend. The arts department continues expanding its partnership with Kessler. Mr. Hill recently completed installation of a permanent gallery to exhibit of student work at the facility. Artwork from the elementary, middle, and high school visual arts programs will be featured for the patients and public to enjoy. The Saddlebrook High School History Department observed the 75th anniversary of the Pearl Harbor attacks, with special lessons on December 7th. Ms. Felderman's classes analyzed President Roosevelt's Day of Infamy speech. Students in Mr. Ashdooni's U.S. History 2 classes used the opportunity to learn how Hawaii was added to the Union, as well as its strategic importance for the United States Navy. It's Spirit Week at Saddlebrook Middle High School. Each day has a theme such as Spirit Day, where students wear Falcon gear, or College Day, which celebrates continuing after high school. The event is part of our continued efforts to improve climate and student connection to the school community. Hallways were decorated to represent each class. Spirit Week will culminate with the Winter Sports Pep Rally this Friday to launch a new season of athletic competition. Our boys varsity basketball team will open the winter sports season at home that night at 7 p.m. This week's events are being organized by the middle school and high school student councils. Special thanks to Ms. Felderman and Ms. Napolitano for organizing the pep rally. Saddlebrook High School football team had 3 first-team All-League players: Thomas Trento, Vinny Camilleri, and Andrew Lorenzo. The winter sports season will begin on December 16th following our winter pep rally. We wish our girls and boys basketball teams, our wrestling team, our competition cheer team, and indoor track team with much luck in their season. Please come support our athletes. Franklin School hosted the Tag Invention Convention. Elementary tag students from 3 schools set up their displays in the gyms and shared with staff and students throughout the morning. Second graders in Smith School have been busy reading several versions of The Gingerbread Man. Some stories the students are reading are The Gingerbread Girl, Gingerbread Pirates, and The Gingerbread Cowboy. Students are creating story maps for each of these stories. They are also doing a science experiment to see what happens when you drop a gingerbread cookie in water. Students are using the scientific method to record their observations. In math, the students are creating glyphs based on how we eat gingerbread cookies. They are also learning 2 gingerbread songs in music class. As a culminating activity to our gingerbread-themed unit, parents are invited to come build a gingerbread house with their child and see all the wonderful work the second graders created. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful report, and as you can see, there are lots of things going on there. And here, if you need to leave, it's okay. I mean, I understand you have, okay, that's fine. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm going to continue with my report. I'm happy to report that just over a week ago, Mr. Karate and myself were able to reconvene, or start, I should say, a school safety committee. And the school safety committee is based on the fact that, along with the curriculum that we've been talking about, we want staff and students and parents to feel safe when they're here in the schools, and we want to do the utmost that we can to protect everybody that's in our schools. You know, we live in a society where we hear lots of terrible things almost weekly, daily, but the best way to be prepared is have all kinds of plans. And that's what we're working on. So I don't want to keep it negative, but I think the positive news here is that the goal was to really maintain good communication with our local law enforcement and others. So I'm going to just give you a list of names of the people that we had as part of this meeting, and this is just the first meeting. Tommy Johnson, who's with the police department and actually takes care of their security and safety with the police department. Mr. Karate, as I said, our business administrator. Chief Kugler was here. John Lawler, our principal, myself, obviously. Keith Saraki, who is our head maintenance person here, to make sure that, you know, we want to focus in on the things that need to be fixed, make sure that all the locks work and all those types of things. Chris Stanton, who's our SRO officer here at the middle school, high school. Ms. Zottarelli was there as our board president to have some input as well. Our mayor, Robert White, was here, and John Fontana, who is a retired police officer who's also been working in the schools. And I really think that it was something for all of us to sit down, talk, share our concerns, and we looked at a multitude of things that need improvements, things that we should be concerned about, and things that are positive as well. We did have the local law enforcement here about a month ago, came in down during one of our lockdown drills here at the middle school, high school, and observed the whole process. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure we're doing things right, and we want to be on the cutting edge of what's new and what we should be doing. So we review the internal concerns that we have, basic drill protocol, and also discussed other topics, particularly dealing with our cameras in the schools and how they're being used, and hopefully eventually, very soon, I hope, maybe we can get those connected to the local police department as well. So we're working on that, and it's something we're going to continue to do as long as I'm here anyway. So one of the other things that we looked at is I promised, because it's something that I feel compelled to do only because there's a lot of confusion, and that's HIB, harassment, intimidation, and bullying. I could speak to 3 different parents, and 3 different parents will have 3 different versions of what HIB is, and the same thing with staff members. So we want to make sure, actually, that we're all following the law correctly. We do the best that we can, but with that in mind, I want to hold a community forum one night in March. I'm going to pick a date in March where we can have a HIB presentation with a couple of different speakers, and also want to focus in on something that's very concerning, is the cyberbullying and the things that go on using the connectivity of the internet and everything else. So it creates a lot of problems in school because things happen on the outside, then it gets into the school, and it's just an ongoing process. So hopefully I will get a date for that soon, set it up, get our guest speakers, and we'll start inviting everyone out for that evening. So we'll look forward to that as well. We had a meeting that Mr. Karate and Ms. Jenkins also came with us on Title I funds that we went to at Bergen Community College last week. Very informative. The good news is that we will get some money next year for Title I. The bad news is that we should expect to get about 85% or 80% of what we currently get. So, so there's always these little twists, but things become a little bit more complicated. So we're going to do our best with that, and we're keeping an eye on that whole situation. So that's all I think I have at this time. We spoke about the curriculum, getting everybody together and working on all the needs, and making sure that our students and our teachers have what they need in the classroom to make them the best that they can be. And as we saw here, that's just the beginning of where we're going. Also, I'd like to inform the board now that we will have an executive session because I did receive a HIB pretty much after school hours, and I do not want to wait a month to notify the parents of the results. So we're going to take care of that this evening. Okay? Right. Moving right along. Okay. So let's go through the agenda items. Student services. Let's look at 1 through number 3.
Any discussion? Motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Garrick?
Yes.
Mr. Nagito?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn? Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Canapico?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes.
On the B, curriculum, instruction, technology, and program, we look at numbers 1 and 2.
Any discussion? Motion?
Motion.
Second? Roll call?
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Garrick?
Yes.
Mr. Nagito?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn? Yes. Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Canapico?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Okay. Business and board, looking at, well, we have 12 items under number 1. Actually, yeah, 12 items under number 1. So let's concentrate just on those once again, if you have any questions on those.
Any discussion? Motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Garrick?
Yes.
Mr. Nagito?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn? Yes. Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Canapico?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes.
And moving along through numbers 2 through 7, Just want to make you aware, you may not realize it, but we had one trip that was canceled that was on here. Number 193 was a trip that involved going to see a particular movie, which has now been changed, the actual presentation from the movie. So that's been removed.
Okay. I have discussion on number 5, a question. Did we get any confirmation as to that 2 hours that was in question?
I can tell you that there's not a definitive answer to that question, but we do have here that everything will be reviewed. Also, there's an understanding that we have to do something. So it will not stay the way it is.
Okay.
That's been the concern. Okay.
All right, can we pull this until next month?
My only concern with pulling it is they're really way behind as it is. I'm concerned for the people who are running this. If we go into January, then, you know, probably trying to book whatever entertainment and things that they're trying to have in place may not happen. So I think we're safe with the wording in this. Basically, we're giving them the facilities to use. But again, we're going to want to watch and see everything else that's listed as far as what types of activities, the vendors that are coming in, and we'll have final say over that. And then part of that would be that 2-hour window of what we're going to do there. I promise.
Okay.
Okay.
It's on record.
All right. It's on TV.
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Girick?
Yes.
Mr. Nagito?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Campieko?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Okay, and moving on to D, policy. This is the second reading here of 1 through 13. Based on discussion on Monday evening, we moved the Booster Club policy to the first reading. So that would be number 2. So there's been some changes. I don't know if you need to go over them, but you want to have any discussion on that?
Well, we have to open the meeting to
Yeah.
the public.
So,
If they have questions.
Okay. Motion to open meeting to the public for comments on policy only.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is now open to the public for policy only. Motion to close.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
okay.
Now we need a motion to vote on them.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Girick?
Yes.
Mr. Nagito?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Campieko?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes.
Okay. We have quite a bit on personnel, so let's go through numbers 1 through 9 for now. Any questions pertaining to any of those items?
Any discussion? Motion?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Girick?
Yes.
Mr. Nagito?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Campieko?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Zattarelli?
Yes.
And now I would like to go through numbers 10 through 16.
Any discussion?
Just want to talk a little bit about number 10 briefly. Is Mr. Weinberg, who's sitting in the audience, will be working as a partnership with the community. So we're bringing some of the students to be active in some of the programs in the community, and thank you for doing that. And, you know, thanks to the mayor and council for wanting to join us up together, and I think it's a healthy thing to do, so thank you.
Through the chair. I would also like to just say, I think it's a wonderful program, a great opportunity for both our students and the community. And I'm really looking forward to updates and how well this club is working, because I think it really has great potential.
Anyone else? Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Accomando?
Yes.
Mr. Buffy?
Yes.
Mr. Girick?
Yes.
Mr. Nagito?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Campieko?
Yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Yes. Oh, no, not yet. Okay. Is there any legal out? Committee reports, building and grounds.
Nothing new for Monday.
Okay, curriculum,
Nothing new for Monday.
negotiations, none, policy.
Nothing new since Monday.
Okay, any correspondence? No correspondence. Old business. New business.
Through the chair. Last week I went to a Cookies with Santa at Smith School, and I helped the PTO put tables away. And upon putting the tables away, the brakes on the closed down tables weren't working properly. So I think they need to be inspected so that a child doesn't lose a finger or, God forbid, something else, because they weren't catching, the tables were just dropping. So I think that's something that should be looked at.
Smith School?
Smith School, yeah. It's the standalones, not the ones out of the wall. I don't know about the other schools,
Yeah, we're ordering some,
which was a great program.
we're ordering some new tables for Smith and Wall.
Thank you, thank you.
At Long School today, under new business, there was a kindergarten student who was not granted the opportunity to get lunch until they produced their ID tag. I understand that there's a process, but a kindergarten student having an ID tag, I can understand it being lost. And it took the teacher 17 minutes of her lunch period time to find the kid's ID, and they weren't going to feed him. Oh, I want that on record.
That was at Long School?
That was at Long School.
Thank you.
Through the chair, isn't there a protocol or something like that with an ID? They're supposed to get like a basic lunch automatically?
That's my point.
Yeah, we'll have to investigate that.
Through the chair. This has been an ongoing problem with this company. I was under the impression last summer that the majority of us agreed that we were going to put this out to bid to kind of see if we can get other companies. We did that the year before. Nobody responded except the company that we have. And so, you know, there's nothing you can do. You have to have something in place. However, I just feel like these problems are still ongoing. And although it's not, you know, a tragedy type of problem, I would like to see us go out to bid again. Times are changing and there's new companies and more competition. And I want children to not have lunch. I don't care about protocol when there's a hungry student. Feed the kid and take care of, you know, everything else later on. Nor do I think our staff should be giving up their 35 minutes, you know, it's not a long period to begin with. And I just don't think our staff deserves to give up their time to take care of these issues. Their time's important as well. And so I don't know, but I don't know if you want to make a motion, but I think we should just make a motion to go out to bid again for next year.
Okay, bring that up.
Good idea, Jeff.
Okay. Is there any other new business that we can surprise everybody with? Okay.
Yeah, this letter.
Yeah, but we have to presentation of flex first.
Okay, that's fine.
I would like to present this plaque to Dave Gehrig, who will be leaving us shortly. In grateful recognition of dedication service as Board Trustee 2014 to 2016, Board President for the year 2015, presented by the Saddlebrook Board of Education, December 14th, 2016.
I'd just like to say it's been a true honor and privilege to serve the students and the community of Saddlebrook. And I've made a lot of good friendships and relationships, and I value that. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to miss you, Dave, but you'll be around, I know. Our second plaque is going to Kim Scanapianco in grateful recognition of Dedication Services Board Trustee 2014 to 2016, presented also by the Saddlebrook Board of Education, December 14, 2016.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody. It definitely seems a lot easier when you're sitting in the audience. So, you know, it's really not an easy job. Sometimes there's hard decisions that need to be made. I've learned a lot by serving, and I'm proud of my time up here. I'm proud of the decisions I made. I have no regrets. And I just want to thank everybody who supported me, my family, and the people who put me in office, and I hope I did them proud. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you too.
Through the chair. Unfortunately, I will be resigning as a vice president as trustee from the Saddlebrook Board of Education effective January 1st, 2017. At this time, due to conflict of interest, come the new year, I'll be accepting a position with Passaic County Prosecutor's Office. Since 2014, I had an honor to be elected into the Saddlebrook Board of Education by the people of Saddlebrook. It was my distinct honor and pleasure to serve the citizens and the students of Saddlebrook over the past 2 years. My ability to serve as a member of Saddlebrook Board of Education for my school district that provided me with excellent and well-rounded education will always be one of my highest honors of my life. So many wonderful educators of the Saddlebrook Public Schools had a positive impact on my life, and they will ultimately be responsible for who I am today. I'm grateful to have worked in a positive, productive manner with the fellow trustees and the business administrator. It was my pleasure to have collaborated with so many caring individuals. I will truly miss this team. I'll never forget my home in Saddlebrook. Just want to say thank you to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's not something I wanted to do, but unfortunately, in order to go forward with my future, I gotta do what's best for me.
To the chair, I just want to wish you luck. You will be missed, for sure.
Thank you.
You and I have worked very closely this past year. And besides being a great vice president, you're like my third son. And I wish if I said no tonight, it would stop you from going. And I know that's not going to happen. I'm truly going to miss you. And you are an asset to this board.
Thank you so much. I miss you too.
Yeah, through the chair. Thank you to Dave, Kim, for your service. You guys know it's not easy. It's thankless, but thank you for your support. Thank you for your help with the big decisions. And Carm, thank you for always putting the people first. You've always made that decision where if you knew the person, you were going to abstain because you didn't want any conflicts. You're a man of your word. You're a good man, and good luck with everything you do.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Through the chair, I just want to say thank you to Dave and to Kim for serving. It's a lot of work, a lot of meetings, and you really have done an outstanding job. And you know what a way to really close out your last meeting. You're having your final meeting in a new auditorium, where you push very hard to get the referendum passed. And job well done. And to Carmine, you're an outstanding individual. Mom and Dad have done an outstanding job. If we had more kids your age like you, we'd have an outstanding, things would be a lot different, and you've done a great job, and good luck to you in the future.
Thank you very much.
Okay, as interim superintendent, You know, my time here has been short, it's 5 months just about. It's been a pleasure working with each of you. Dave, I know you've been very interested in what we do educationally and many other areas of the school on various committees, and just taking the time to be serious about this and having some really healthy discussions has been very helpful to me, and I believe all of us. So thank you so much. Kim, on the other side, thank you. You've only had the interest of the students in mind. You wanted to correct some things that you thought were wrong, and rightfully so. And I appreciate your determination and keeping us moving in the right direction. So thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Carmine, I know I dropped you a little email this afternoon. You know, I don't know you that long, but, you know, you're so young that I have that same kind of connection like Sylvia, like it's one of my own kids here. But you're very mature for your age. And again, another person who has really, in the short time that I've been here, had many discussions with me about concerns with what we're doing, what's best for the kids, what's best all around for the community. So I think going into the prosecutor's office is a place where you will do very well. And I sincerely wish you all the best and hope that someday our paths meet again. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay.
If there's no more, then just a motion to accept the resignation of Board Trustee Carmine Buffy effective January 1st, 2017.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Accomando?
Maybe. Yes.
Mr. Buffy? Mr. Girick?
Yes.
Mr. Nagito?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Ms. Sanchez? Mrs. Canipico?
Sadly, yes.
Mr. Singh?
Yes.
Mrs. Otterelli?
Not happy, but yes. We'll now open the meeting, motion to open the meeting to the public.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is now open to the public. Anyone wishing to be heard, please step up to our lovely new podium and state your name and address. Is it on?
You turned on.
But you can use one of these.
I can. Sullivan, 189 Lift Drive. I have a quick question regarding the new safety team that's put together and the safety in schools. Can you tell me, are any sort of drills, fire, shelter in place, any sort of drills done during lunch hours? Nope, you can't be that fire. Okay. My concern is that I heard that they're not, and what do the cafeteria workers know about handling these sort of drills if they have no training or no idea? I mean, I'm trusting these people with my kids if there's a real true emergency. So what would happen if something did happen during the lunch hours?
Can I just add? Yeah. Yeah, there is some training with them. The plan in place is that the professionals that are in that location will maintain whatever's going on. Okay.
Children know the procedure if they are in lunch?
I can't answer that question honestly, but I will tell you that the people who are there know what to do. So they will break that, into sections and go where they need to go. All right. Okay? All right. You're welcome.
Anyone else? Motion to close meeting to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Motion to go into closed session.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? To recess to close executive session to discuss a HIB case and matters covered by the attorney-client privilege per NJSA 1046 et sec, Open Public Meetings Act. The subject matter discussed may be disclosed to the public if and when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Action may be taken when the board reconvenes in open session. We're now going to go into closed, but before everyone goes, I just want to say have a safe, happy, and healthy holiday season, and we'll see you next year.
Yep, thank you.